It's the 9th day of March 2023, and yes, it's another cold morning to bring you the newspaper review here on TAF TV. Hello from wherever you're watching from. My name is Cyril Aloysius, and as you know, it has always been my pleasure to bring you the headlines in various newspapers across the nation. Mr. Victor Sioku is the person once again to look at the papers with me today. Sir, you are welcome.
Thank you, sir.
How do you do?
Cold like an ice.
Okay, today we'll be looking at 3 newspapers as usual, and of course we'll be deliberating on some of the headlines here, interesting headlines. And it's also very, very important for us to note that the appeal court recently has just given INEC the permission to reconfigure the beavers just before the governorship election coming up. But before that, I think the presidential candidate for the Labour Party, that's Peter Obi, and Atiku also have been given permission to go ahead and inspect the beavers just before INEC reconfigures the beavers. Mr. Victor, I don't know what you have to say concerning this.
Well, it's a welcome development. Like what I was saying yesterday, it's a cool thing that everybody be addressed fairly. Okay. So if you are giving it to Atiku, you give it to Peter Obi. And if you are giving it to Peter Obi, then that's the two parties, the PDP and the LP. You should also give it to APC. Give them the right to also inspect, because at the end of the day, the APC might just also need some vital information to go to court and defend their mandate. So I think it's a welcome development.
So I don't know, Mr. Victor. Do you smell anything fishy going on? You know, due to the fact that INEC has to reconfigure the beavers before the governorship election, because for crying out loud, we are in the 21st century, and then we are having more technological advancement going on here and there. One should expect that a new technology as that of the beaver should have, you know, a large memory space to store information. So INEC wanting to reconfigure this machines, I don't know. It now gives us the impression that is it that INEC doesn't have plans to save information, to keep records of elections that have been held. I don't know, Mr. Victor.
I don't think it's about the capacity of the machine.
Okay.
With respect to storage, I don't think it's about that, because at the end of the day, what information are you even storing with the beavers? JPEGs, that's pictures, and just maybe Excel, because at the end of the day, the typed in documents or typed in data that you have there might just come out in XLS, and Excel data storage doesn't go so much. So for a beavers machine, let's say for instance a 2 gig should be enough to store any information you want to store there. At the end of the day, you're not storing video files. We should know that video files in MP4 files can be heavy. So we are talking about JPEGs and Excel at most, or worst case scenario PDFs. So you find out that I don't think it's about
so you're
storage.
saying
Storage capacity.
INEC wanting to reconfigure the machines are okay.
No,
nothing fishy.
For me, no, I don't want to use the word fishy. I think they might just have remember, they use the word technical glitches. Okay, they might just have issues with security.
Mr. Victor, and out loud, INEC had 4 years to prepare for this election.
Yes.
4 good years they had, and all these excuses now, all these talks now doesn't make any sense.
I'm not trying to make a point for them.
And they spent so much money.
Yes, definitely. But I'm not trying to make a point for them. But if you had listened to the voter education expert from INEC, he was saying something about that beforehand. Okay, when we were using the former machine, what do you call it again? The capture machine. That you just do only thumb printing. I can't remember the actual name for that machine. But back in the days, they still did configuration. Okay? But this time around, I wonder why didn't they go to the court on time?
Okay.
Why didn't they prepare even beforehand? That is my question. Before the election, go to the court and tell the court, see, I will reconfigure.
Yes, and all of this actually gives room for more suspicion.
Oh, sure. Nigerians are bitter. Nigerians don't trust the INEC because of what happened. We need to be clear on the facts that Nigerians are lacking with respect to trust for this current INEC chairman.
Okay, so to move forward on the program for today, we'll be starting first by looking at the Nigerian Tribune. Here on page 3, we have INEC shifts governorship state assembly polls by 1 week. INEC shifts governorship state assembly polls by 1 week. That headline is on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune. Still on page 3, we have Tinubu inaugurates Olanik Mekong, 49 other SANs to defend mandate. Tinubu inaugurates Olanik Mekong, 49 other SANs to defend mandate. More of that is on page 3 as well. On page 4 now, we have presidential NASS NAS polls failed to comply with Electoral Act. Presidential NAS polls failed to comply with Electoral Act, according to Afeni Ferrer on page 4. On page 6, we have CBN issues operational guidelines on open banking. CBN issues operational guidelines on open banking. That's on page 6. And on page 2, we have Oyo Accord leadership endorses Makinde. Oyo Accord leadership endorses Makinde. That's on page 2. On page 4 and 5, we have Gazama heads Atiku's 19-man legal team to challenge presidential poll outcome. Gazama heads Atiku's 19-man legal team to challenge presidential poll outcome. That story, more of that story is on page 4 and on page 5. Court gives INEC nod to reconfigure beavers. Court gives INEC nod to reconfigure beavers. Grants Tinubu Obi permission to inspect election materials. That story is on page 3 as well. And lastly, here in the Nigerian Tribune for today, we have CBN. Sorry, I beg your pardon. One killed. Multi-million naira businesses lost as fire raises Lagos auto spare parts market. One killed. Multi-million naira businesses lost as fire raises Lagos auto spare parts market. That's on page 29 of the Nigerian Tribune. You want more details on the headlines? Get a copy of the Nigerian Tribune for yourself. Mr. Victor, what do you make of INEC shifting the governorship and state assembly polls by 1 week?
Okay, like we were discussing during the intro, I see them playing smart. Okay, I see INEC trying to make sure that they come out with a
clean slate. With a clean
yes,
slate. Okay.
yes. Because Nigerians, they can hear it loud that Nigerians do not trust them anymore. And Nigerians see them as being incompetent. Okay. Why am I saying that? Because of what happened during the last election. But going forward, there was no way, okay, for them to have gotten from what they are saying according to INEC. There wasn't any way that they were going to use today, Thursday and Friday to configure the beavers. Okay, remember there are also some reports out there that some of these beavers machine has been sent to Abuja for these other guys, as in the PDP and the APC, to inspect. So maybe that might just have to happen this weekend, from now to the weekend, for proper inspections to be carried. Okay, but yes, when it now comes to updating it, okay, with respect to configuring it, I think that should happen remotely in the sense that just like our phones, that an update can be sent to our phone. When you update your phone, reconfigurations can occur. Okay. So I do not see them that they will be, will I say, imputing data or reconfiguring all beavers that we have in this country is over 176,000 copies. Are they telling us that they want to waste time and money going from one end to the other,
from
to reconfigure these beavers? I don't really get my point. Yes. So it should be something that when you on the system, since the system is using internet, when you on it, you go to the update, click update, and the thing gets updated. Okay. And we should also consider that this postponement of this election might not be so cool for for some parties, especially parties that don't have the backbone, financial backbone, I must say. Reason, because many of these candidates, they cannot wait for this election to come because their money has finished. Some have borrowed and borrowed. In fact, they are gasping for breath. And you're not telling them that the election has been moved. Sorry, I'm laughing about this. Is a serious matter.
Yes.
But you're not telling them that the election has been moved. Has been moved to next weekend.
They have to
Where will they
money.
get the money from?
Borrow more.
To sustain their campaign. Will they now go back and start sleeping? Why?
Campaign has ended now.
Why they are, no, it has not ended now. It's been moved. Campaign has been moved to next weekend.
Okay.
Sorry, till next Thursday.
Okay.
So what will these people do? Will they not go inside their houses to be sleeping? Why the ones with the backbone, the financial backbone, will be campaigning? My brother, it's a really difficult situation for these guys right now.
Exactly. It's
Especially for state assembly aspirant or candidates. Really difficult for those guys.
Yeah, it's a really difficult situation, and we pray that they find a way around it, because as we all know, money right now is hard to come by. So when you have it, spend it wisely. Okay, so we are moving on now to this day newspaper. Headlines in this day here says, according to Tinubu is saying here, we must harness our demography, numerical value to make progress. Women's role invaluable. That's Tinubu saying in this day newspaper. We must harness our demography, numerical value to make progress. Women's role invaluable. Okay, and on page 6 here in this day, FEC, Buhari, Tinubu, Gbajabiamila rejoice with Osibanjo at 66. FEC, Buhari, Tinubu, Gbajabiamila rejoice with Osibanjo at 66. That's more of that headline is on page 6 of this day. And on page 8 of this day, we have Sanwo-Olu on NSAS. I have no control over military. Sanwo-Olu on NSAS. I have no control over military. That story is on page 8 of this day newspaper. Further now in this day, we have NBA. Despite criticism, 64.6% voters satisfied with presidential National Assembly elections. Wow. NBA, despite criticism, 64.6% voters satisfied with presidential National Assembly elections. Okay, more of that is on page 10 of this day. And another one here says INEC shifts governorship state assembly post to March 18. Okay, you've seen this before in the previous paper. Okay, I think that's the much we can take on this day newspaper for today. Mr. Victor, I'd like to get your reaction on on MBA's statement. You know, 64.6% of voters are satisfied with the presidential National Assembly elections. Please react to this.
I think it tells bad of the leader of the NBA, okay, for him to come out to make that pronouncement, okay, with all due respect. 64.6.
How? Please.
64.6% means that you have a B.
Yes.
And if you add about 5.4 to it, just 5.4 to it, you are heading towards A.
And if I can remember vividly what Tinubu said recently in a press conference, he said he knows that many Nigerians did not vote for him. However, you know, and I'm like, if you know that Nigerians didn't vote for you, so how did you emerge the winner? How then did he emerge the winner? So you see, all these talks, you know, are contradicting now. Coupled with this, 64.6%. Join this up, add this up, try to add this up with what Tinubu said. He knows that people didn't vote for him, so it doesn't add up. It doesn't.
For an election that 29.3 of the voters, percent of the voters were able to vote. 29% of the 93.4 million Nigerians that own voters card. only 29% of them were able to vote. What does that tell you? It tells you that INEC did not meet up with average Nigerians did not even get to vote for their candidates, meaning that there was voter suppression.
Mr. Victor, did you see a news update shortly, a few days before the election, about, I think that should be in Anambra, where a drum of PVCs was seen by a hunter in the bush. Hey, God.
So that is even pre-election problems.
Hey, God.
On the election day, Congo, how many INEC staff were able to get to their polling units by 8 o'clock?
Okay,
that is where they fall. That is where the the NBA chairman get his number?
Yes, his number, exactly.
So Nigerians came out to vote. Many polling centers, the INEC staff will even come late, and you find out that they did not even come with the right materials. They will go back to wherever they are coming from, then come back again. In many instances, even in Abuja, the capital of Nigeria, the seat of power, some polling units did not start being operational till by evening. That some persons even voted late into the night.
Wow.
Is it the same INEC that you are telling me that Nigerians are happy at scoring them 64%?
Wow.
The same INEC that told Nigerians that they will be transmitting results live. That even up till date,
from the polling unit,
that even up till date, you've not even transmitted all the results. Is it the same INEC that you are telling us that we should score 64%?
Wow.
That does not make sense in any way.
Wow.
It doesn't make sense.
So are you in any way now implying that the NBA has also been compromised?
well, I'm not in that position to say that. But I don't believe these numbers. I need more evidence. In fact, we don't even need to go to the street and ask Nigerians.
Okay, so you're saying that the NBA needs to be more factual when they come up with numbers like this. Come out and tell us, okay, these are the parameters for which we use to come up with these numbers, and then exactly. And
so let's see what will happen by March the 18th. Let's even see whether 50% of the persons that came out for the presidential, whether they will 50% of those numbers, whether they will come out for the next election. Meaning that INEC people have lost hope. Okay, look at this postponement. Man, no, nothing to talk about.
Okay, we'll go on a quick break right now, and when we return, we'll continue from where we stopped. Please stay tuned.
Hey there, are you looking to record your videos, do your voiceovers, and take your professional pictures? Look no further. With our state-of-the-art newsroom, photography, kitchen for our food content creators, and exclusive children's studio, we certainly can deliver the best studio experience. Our carefully designed studio space can bring your diverse creative content ideas to life. We aim to consistently serve value to our customers far and wide. Come, let Tharv Media give life to your dreams. Tharv Media, a slice of infotainment.
Hello and welcome back from that short break. Still on the newspaper review here. I'll be taking you now to our very last paper for the day, which is the Daily Sun newspaper. So headlines here in the Daily Sun. We have here on page 6 and 4. This one says INEC shifts Guber State Assembly polls to March 18. Okay, we've already seen this before in the previous papers. On page 2, we have a confusion as banks reject 501,000 naira. Nigeria generated 697 billion naira, 11% growth from VAT in Q4 2022, according to NBS. More of this headline is on page 2 of the Daily Sun. On page 8, we have 10th Senate group calls for zoning of Senate presidency to Southeast. 10th Senate group calls for zoning of Senate presidency to Southeast. Okay, that story is on page 8 of the Daily Sun. On page 6, we have PDP formally withdraws from Enugu East senatorial contest. I remain candidate, according to Nnamani. I remain candidate. PDP formally withdraws from Enugu East senatorial contest. I remain candidate, according to Nnamani, on page 6 of Daily Sun. On page 8, we have Atiku engages Gadzama, Ozekome, Usoro, Etiaba, 11 other sons to fight case at tribunal. That's on page 8 of Daily Sun. On page 2, we have federal government revokes work permit visa of Seplat CEO for alleged racism, discrimination against Nigerians. Federal government revokes work permit visa of Seplat CEO for alleged racism, I beg your pardon, and discrimination against Nigerians. That's on page 2 of Daily Sun. On page 26 here we have IPAC, Atiku Group endorse Rivers PDP candidate. IPAC, Atiku Group endorse Rivers PDP candidate. That story is on page 26. Lastly, in the Daily Sun here on page 4, gunmen attack Imo PDP assembly candidate, raise houses, vehicles. Gunmen attack Imo PDP assembly candidate, raise houses, vehicles. More of that headline there is on page 4 of the Daily Sun. Okay, that's the much we can take in the Daily Sun newspaper. As you know, if you want more headlines, more stories, more details on these headlines, get a copy of the papers for yourself. Mr. Victor, please, I would like to get your reaction to the federal government revoking work permit, a visa of Seplat CEO for alleged racism and discrimination against Nigerians.
Okay, so it's not new that many foreigners that head our companies and part of their top hierarchy, many of them don't treat Nigerians really good. Okay, and the Seplat CEO has the news making rounds is telling us that he failed in respect to discrimination, respect to racism, and it did not go well because the Ministry of Interior, being headed by his Honorable Minister Rauf Aregbesola, they've already invited him as a ministry to come and to come for a fair hearing. Let them hear from him and all that. But he put up some excuse that he was not available, that he was not in the country from the report we read. And after that, he was also invited for the second time, and he also came up with an excuse of not being available. And there are also reports that when he put up that excuse that he was not in the country, that they found him in Abuja. So, and after all investigations, they had to withdraw his visa. So what am I saying here? This is not just about Seplat. And mind you, Seplat is also a very big company that we should trade carefully. Okay? Reason because we also as Nigerians don't want a situation whereby the little foreign and direct investment that we have in this country, that we will be losing them. Okay, we need foreigners in this country to help us develop our economy. Okay, but that does not also mean that foreigners should come here and break our rules, because I expect every Nigerian that is traveling outside the country, this country, should also obey the rules of the land which we find ourselves in.
Yes.
Okay, there are strong reports, not just light reports. Strong reports. I'm not trying to segment a particular person or a particular tribe or particular race right here, but we have strong reports that the Chinese and the Lebanese in this country, that many of them, not all, but many of their heads of staff, that they don't treat Nigerians well. And I'm calling out the Ministry of Interior. They should not just only throw sanctions on these people. They should have
stern punishments.
Not just them punishment. They should call them down. There should be levels of interactions. Okay, and maybe training where needed. Training where needed. Okay, I don't want us
do I really need training to know how to treat someone properly?
No, this is Mr. Siri, this is a matter of a carrot and stick, please. We should not also just push out the baby and the water and the bathing water at the same time, okay? Because let's face the facts, Nigeria also needs these guys. Okay, look at what the Lebanese are doing in our economy. They are really helping our economy, especially in terms of hospitality. They are really playing a strong role out there. And Nigeria, our economy with respect to even the hospitality is even shrinking. Just imagine pulling out all the Lebanese in our hospitality sector. My brother, it will be very, very difficult for us to carry through. But lastly, for Seplat, I just pray that they should come together. This is a moment for both parties to come together and resolve this issue, because Seplat is really playing a big role. Yes, one might say, yes, Seplat is an independent company, which they are, okay? But if you check from antecedents, for the past almost 15 years of being in existence, they've done so much in our oil sector. If a company, an independent company, can come out to say, okay, we are buying blocks of investment from Chevron, we are buying blocks of investment from SPDC, we are buying blocks like the last one that almost happened, where they wanted to buy an upstream block of investment from Mobil Nigeria. Yes, it did. Well, it's still in the process. That started about from 2021, but yes, it's still in process. But what am I trying to say? Let's not just go so hard on these people, okay? But that should not also mean that if you commit a crime in this country, that you should not pay
the price.
The price, yes.
Okay, thank you so much for your thoughts, Mr. Victor. I really appreciate. Yes, you've heard it all. Please, racism should be out of your mind as a human being, because no human being, no person was born hating another person, which means hate is taught, but love is inborn. A newborn baby being born always wants every and anybody to carry him or her. That's because of the spirit of love in each and every one of us. If we cut our skin open, my blood, your blood as a white man, my blood as a black man, is the same color, which is red, flesh. So it tells you that we are all human. So racism shouldn't even be a word in the dictionary. We should try as much as possible to erase it and live and embrace oneness, because with oneness we can achieve greatness. So this is the end of the newspaper review for today. Thank you so much for staying faithful to your screen. My name is Cyril Aloysius. It's been a pleasure being the one to bring to you amazing headlines in the papers today. Thank you so much, Mr. Victor Sioku. Thank you once again.
Yeah, I did not know that you are a motivational speaker.
At least now you know. Now you know.
So we cannot aspire to aspire.
So yeah, we can aspire to aspire. Yeah. So please, if you are just seeing this video, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you like this video, please subscribe. And after subscribing, turn on your notification bell so that when we come online and drop our new videos, you get notified. Okay. Also check us out on our social media platforms. You can see us on YouTube at TAV TV, on Instagram we are TAV TV_NG on Instagram, on Facebook and on Twitter we are TAV TV. So I would say thank you once again. It's a bye for now until we come your way again next time to enjoy the rest of your day.